Hi, I'm Steve, 49, personal trainer on the Isle of Man, and this is week 3 of my Achilles tendon rupture recovery. If you have been following the first 2 episodes, you will know the background as to what happened, why I was in a quandary with regard to choosing the operative or non-operative route, and why I made the decision to go down the route of having an operation. If you didn't and you haven't watched them, it might make sense to click the link here and go back and watch them first. Okay, so week 3. If you remember last week, I came to you from a hotel room in Manchester. It was about 2 days prior to the operation, and I was explaining my decisions for going down that direction. So it's week 3 now. I'm back here on the Isle of Man in the United Kingdom, and as you can see, I'm in a solid back slab cast, and my foot is now placed in plantar flexion for the next 3 weeks. Okay, now a few things have happened since the operation I need to bring you up to speed with. Firstly, on the way back from the hospital, I did everything I could to be cautious and careful. I got a taxi service to pick me up at the Spire Manchester Hospital, take me to the Liverpool docks. I got wheelchair assistance from the docks onto the ferry. I booked wheelchair assistance off the ferry back to the Isle of Man dock, and then I was getting picked up by a family member on this side. Unfortunately, in my couple of hours on the ferry, I needed a toilet, and when I stepped into the toilet, I placed my crutch on the floor and it slipped and went from under me. Now, I didn't fall and I didn't even place my foot on the floor. However, in that spontaneous moment of like a knee-jerk reaction, I have put my foot into slight dorsiflexion, albeit restricted by this back slab. I got an instant searing pain through the Achilles, and that pain lasted for a good 12 hours. Obviously, this brings up a worry of re-rupture, and I was in a horrible position of wondering, oh shit, within a few hours of the operation, am I back to square one? I got home, I took some of the painkillers that the nurse had given me, I rested up for the night, and everything seemed to settle down a little bit the next day. The day after that, I was in the kitchen, again on my crutches, and I put my crutch down on a wet patch on the floor that I hadn't seen, and this time the crutch went from me, and I did fall. And as I fell, I temporarily put my weight on my injured foot. Now, I used to work in the prison service. I did 22 years as a warder and as a physical training instructor. We're taught how to fall. So the split second that I put my weight on my foot, I instantly threw myself onto my shoulder and rolled onto my back. Whether that has been enough time to damage the Achilles yet, remains to be seen. I really hope not. However, this time, for at least 24 hours, the area was very inflamed, very swollen. It was almost to the point of bursting through the cast, and I was in agony. And I've had to take some quite strong painkillers that they gave me, oxycodone, which is obviously an opiate. I've been taking them pretty much since that second fall. Now, typically, I was the last patient on the operating table of the day. So in my hazy state recovery, I remember the surgeon telling me the operation had gone well. However, by the time I'd come round fully and I was back in my hospital room, he was long gone. Now, he's now on leave for 2 or 3 weeks. His secretary's on leave for 2 or 3 weeks. And other than some very, very sketchy doctor's notes, which typically has a surgeon's handwriting that no one can decipher, I have no idea how the operation went. I know it went well because he told me that in my hazy state, but I don't know what he's done, what technique he's used, what the rehab's looking like. I have no idea on the intricate details of what's gone on. So I'm going to have to wait until he gets back for that. Now, obviously, I've had these 2 falls, and the worry now is that I might have re-ruptured the Achilles. Now, the original plan was to go back on the 17th of August to see him, hopefully get the cast removed, check the dressing, check the incision site is nice and clean, and then go into the Air Walker boot. My worry is now that if there has been another rupture, And, I could be back to square one. So when he takes the cast off, they do an assessment. If the Achilles is ruptured again, I would have to go through exactly the same process of isolate in a hotel room, do a COVID swab, then go back 3 days later for the operation, and then 3 more weeks in a cast. So, yeah, it's obviously a very worrying situation to be in, and one that I'd rather not be in. I managed to get through to his colleague yesterday, a Mr. Mike Karski. He was very, very helpful, and he basically gave me 3 options. I can either wait until I see Mr. Clough on the 17th. I can go back over the weekend, assess how things are, see if they settle down a bit more, if pain levels subside. If not, I can give his secretary a ring on Monday and go and see him for an assessment on Thursday. Or I could have gone over today. If I was really, really worried about it, I could have gone to his clinic today and he'd have added me on. I thought today was too soon, so I've decided to load up on painkillers over the weekend, do everything I can to bring down levels of inflammation and swelling, and then see, assess it on Monday with regard to how I feel. Now, even if I feel good enough to not go back next week, that doesn't mean that the risk of re-rupture isn't there. It just means that I'm, not prepared to spend another God knows how much money going over there for a 5-minute assessment just to be told it's okay. So it's a gamble either way. But I'll make that decision on Monday after resting up over the weekend and seeing what I can do. Like I say, 2 totally unavoidable accidents. I have to get about. I've got to be proficient on crutches. And these were accidents. They weren't, me being aggressive or trying to do something I shouldn't be doing. I was simply maneuvering my way around. So yeah, very frustrating, but that's where we're at. So we'll see what next week brings. Okay, firstly, staff in the Spire Manchester Hospital were fantastic. I didn't sleep a wink the night of the operation, the night after the operation. I was wired. I was, very uncomfortable, obviously, coming around with this cast on. There was a lot of pressure on the injury, on the operation site, and it was, just not a nice place to be. So I ended up staying awake all night. The nurses were really, apologetic and said that there's not a lot they could do really, other than the fact that, if they're there, I needed to talk. So yeah, I couldn't speak highly enough of the nursing staff. The physio came in the next day, showed me how to, get around on crutches, gave me a rough idea on the small things I can be doing at this stage. And, again, they were very, very helpful. And yeah, that's where we're at. So painkillers wise, I've been given oxycodone hydrochloride, which is an opiate-based painkiller. Interesting side effect I've noted from these, by the way, because I track my sleep on a regular basis. I'm getting a ridiculous amount of deep sleep on these. Whether it's good quality deep sleep, I'm not sure on. But when I wear my Oura ring and track my sleep, I'm getting normally, on an average week, I would normally get 15%, up to 20% if I'm lucky, deep sleep. I'm actually getting over 40% deep sleep now with these oxycodone tablets. Now, obviously, I'm knocked out, so it's not good, is it? But and it's certainly not something I want to be utilizing on a regular basis. However, at the moment, it's keeping my head in a good place. It's enabling me to get more sleep than I'd be getting without it. And obviously, while I'm sleeping, I'm resting the legs, so that's a win-win. I will not be using them for more than a week. I'm well aware that they're addictive, and with them being an opiate, they come with a risk. So I will be switching down to this cocodamol and paracetamol mixture if I need pain relief next week, and I'll be utilizing that should I need to. I'm also taking Clexane injections, which is a subcutaneous injection into the midsection. And this is for DVT. Obviously, with my leg being immobile in a cast, and obviously me being on TRT for the last 10 years, my blood work is normally quite thick anyway. So I'm a high risk DVT. So these are hopefully eliminating the chance of that happening. And that's pretty much it. With regard to physio, here's what I'm trying to do at the moment. I'm well aware that my quadricep is starting to atrophy already, purely because the lower limb is immobile. But what I'm trying to do is support the hamstring contract, making sure I'm lighting up all areas of the quadriceps, and then lower. Okay, nice and slow, rep speed, very, very slow and deliberate. And I'm actually watching all parts of the quadricep, and trying to light up as much of those areas as I can and work through a full range of movement. Okay, there's also this one, which is an isometric contraction of the quadricep, and then I'm raising and lowering the straight leg. Okay, now the other one's not that you want to be looking at my feet. I've got to keep moving my toes about, obviously for circulation benefits. So I'm moving my toes about. And the other thing I can do is an isometric contraction of the calf. Okay, now I've got good mind-muscle connection, obviously years of bodybuilding. But what I'm trying to do is actually contract the calf, feel the gastrocnemius and the soleus, which is the upper and lower parts of the calf. And I can actually do a static contraction now of my Achilles. Now, whether that means it's not ruptured again, I don't know. But the fact that I can actually feel that sensation contracting and releasing, for me, is quite reassuring. Now, obviously, with the back slab, it basically rules out the option of icing the area. But what I have been doing is placing an ice pack below the knee. And this, I find, it helps with pain relief. Whether it actually helps reduce the area further down the leg, I don't know. But for me, it just feels really nice on the back of the leg. It also means it's half an hour where I'm not moving the leg. And I'll do that probably 7 or 8 times throughout the day. And the other thing I'm trying to do is elevate my foot. And I've been giving myself a little saying, keep your toes above your nose. And what I've been doing is resting my foot on the back of the sofa here, and lying in reverse on the sofa so that my leg is up and, obviously trying to take down any swelling and inflammation that there is there then. That's really been helping. Last 24 hours since I had that second fall, I've been doing that a lot of the day. It means I'm watching the Olympics upside down. But at the end of the day, I'm immobile, I'm keeping the leg elevated, and that's only got to help things. So that's where we're at with that. Okay, supplements. Now, I eat clean, I eat healthy year round anyway. I'm well aware that you are what you eat. I always have a wide, diverse range of vegetables. I choose literally every colour you can get. I'm not one for binging on sugary foods, I'm well aware of the benefits of protein with regard to building muscle, but also for recovery and repair of other areas of the body. So I'm using an approach at the moment where I'm keeping protein high. When I say high, I'm keeping it around the 200, 220 grams a day, and I currently weigh 105 kilos. So I'm well above the 2 grams per kilo benchmark that I set myself. So protein is high, and obviously my muscles don't need recovery at the moment, but other things do. I've been using this, which is marine collagen. I've also been drinking bone broth, but the marine collagen, this particular one from Corexico, I've heard great reviews on that, so I've been utilising that morning and afternoon. Like I say, I've been having a couple of cups of bone broth a day. On top of that, obviously taking in a broad range of colours in my diet, a lot of fruit, things like that. But one thing I have been doing is limiting the amount of carbohydrates I've been having. You got to bear in mind, normally I'm a busy coach on the gym floor. I'll be doing a minimum of 10,000 steps a day. Now my output at the moment is substantially less, a lot less. So therefore my requirement for carbohydrates goes down. So what I've been doing basically is having some oats for breakfast. I've been having a little bit of potato for lunch and a little bit of rice for tea. But other than that, and obviously the sugar in the fruit, I have been having no more carbohydrates. Now, the more I move, and obviously if I go into a boot in 3 weeks and I become a little bit more mobile, I will then gradually increase the amount of carbohydrates I have throughout the recovery. But protein stays high, and I've kept fats at a moderate level purely because I'm well aware of the benefits of good quality fats for muscle cells and recovery as well, and general health. So that's where I've been at with that. I've been taking high dose vitamin C, a good solid water, multivitamin, and obviously hydration. I'm using usually about 5 litres a day. Obviously in the summer, it's quite warm and you perspire a lot. I'm keeping that minimum of 5 litres a day. This has been a real winner as well. So this is a Nutridyne fruits and greens drink. Something like 30 antioxidants in that. So I've been having one of those a day. Keep my protein shake handy. A good solid multivit that I have with my breakfast every morning. Now, I have done a bit of research on peptides. There's a couple of peptides that a few highly regarded coaches have mentioned. TB500 and another one called BPC157. I still haven't sussed it out enough whether to invest in these yet. These are research peptides at the end of the day. They're not for human consumption. That's the legality of it. But I'm well aware that athletes have been utilizing these compounds for years to good effect. Whether I need them at my stage in my career, I don't know. I need to speak to someone with regard to that. And I've got a few other coaches in the industry who have first-hand experience using these. So I'll be getting their opinion and whether they think it would be an investment or a worthwhile venture. I'm trying to develop a mindset of a pregnant woman, and this sounds really weird, but when a pregnant lady has an embryo inside them and they are well aware that whatever they eat and whatever their intake is feeding that second person, I'm trying to do the same myself. And as much as I might be tempted to have a cake or a load of chocolate or a load of crisps and stuff like that, I know that those have really poor quality nutrients that are going to do nothing for my recovery. Okay, and they're going to load me up in calories that I'm not able to burn off at the moment. Okay, now me being a bodybuilder, my appearance means a lot to me. So I know if I start getting fat and start looking crap and feeling crap, that then is going to affect my mindset. And one thing I know in all the research I've done over the last 3 weeks on Achilles tendon rupture is that this is a long haul. And if I don't look after myself both physically and mentally in these early months, I could end up potentially in a really bad place. So I'm trying to keep this strong to keep that strong. And that's why I'm not letting myself get, if I can, too bogged down in, moods and depression and stuff like that. I'm constantly trying to think of positive things I can do. Now, I've just had my dumbbells dropped off from a friend of mine. So tomorrow I'm going to start upper body. I know I can train my shoulders. I know I can train my arms. I can train pecs to a certain extent with my legs up in the air. So I'll be doing bits to keep the upper body moving. Hopefully when I move into a boot, I'll be able to do more on my good leg because I'll be a little bit more mobile. So therefore I can then start moving things on, from there. So that's where we're up to. Hygiene-wise, shower chair's been invaluable. I literally just plonk myself down on that shower chair. I'll stay in the shower for half an hour. The Limbo cover that I bought for the boot has been brilliant. It's a full leg cover, no water getting onto my cast at all. I can't recommend those highly enough. And it's nice. It's just a change of scenery because obviously sitting in the lounge watching the Olympics can get monotonous. So that shower at night enables me just to chill out, thought process a little bit, and get myself clean. So I'd recommend them as well. This contraption here, and I'll scoot about on this to show you what I mean. This has been an absolute lifesaver, and this is our knee scooter, as you can see, and this basically enables me to get about the ground floor of my house. I can reverse on it, I can push forward on it. And as you can see, my ankle and my Achilles is in a really safe place behind, providing I don't go too close to door frames. My brother kindly fitted a drinks bottle on the back for when I get in the boot and I can get back to work. So this is, I think it's the Knee Rover, but this has been a really good buy, and I think it was £120 on Amazon. So this would be a definite purchase I would recommend. And even if I only use this for 2 months, I should still be able to move it on afterwards to a worthy cause. But it's enabling me to get about the house a little bit more, get out of the room. Obviously I can't do stairs on this. I use crutches for that. But this has been an absolute belt-in lifesaver for me just to get about the house. And hopefully it'll help me avoid further falls. So yeah, couldn't recommend that highly enough. So that's where we're at. This has been brilliant. Obviously, in the summer, you do get itchy. Just to enable you to scratch, you've got to be careful with this. Obviously, it's a very sharp end, but that has been a lifesaver just to get through any irritable periods that I get, at the bottom of my cast. And that's where we're at. So hopefully that brings you up to date with my current situation. Obviously the dilemma with regard to, do I need to go back for get another assessment because of the falls I've had, or do I just ride it out and hope for the best in 3 weeks' time? But obviously, as you can see, we're 20 minutes in here. A lot's happened in a week. And that's why looking about the internet and, seeing other people's recoveries, there's not a lot of information out there with regard to the Achilles. So, if this can help anyone just to make some informed decisions, maybe some shrewd purchases to get through it, then that's done its job. All right. So I'll leave that there. That's week 3. Obviously, next week, I'll give you an update with regard to whether I need to go across or not to get another assessment done, or whether things are settling down nicely. Okay. So week 3 out.